Hello, welcome to Empowering Our People.
Welcome back, everybody.
Woo!
This is Luna Star.
And I am Lee. Let's get started.
So first up on our topics list is the race for governor here in Georgia between Stacey Abrams and Mr. Brian Kemp. Stacey Abrams has finally and unfortunately conceded.
Yep, and it was a long fight, and we really appreciate her efforts. It's just at this time, Brian Kemp was able to get more votes, so they say.
So they claim.
With a whopping 50.27%. But Stacey was not that farther behind.
She was not that far off.
Yeah, she wasn't far at all. She was only at 48.79%. So hey,
technically, if you round up, that's 49. So she was in there.
She was in there.
She was in there.
But she sued the state. She plans on suing Brian Kemp. So the fight is technically not over for her. And if you guys watching this next clip, you'll see what she had to say.
Citizens tried to exercise their constitutional rights and were still denied the ability to elect their leaders. Under the watch of the now former Secretary of State, democracy failed Georgia. Georgians of every political party, every race, every region, again. You see, the incompetence and mismanagement we witnessed in this election had been on display months before in the Republican state legislative primary of Dan Gassaway. Counties under the direction of the Secretary of State issued flawed ballots, and not for the first time, and not just in that district. But this time, the mistakes clearly altered the outcome. Representative Gassaway, a Republican in a heavily Republican district, had to go to court to force a fair fight. And therefore, on December 4th, tucked between the runoffs for Secretary of State and the Public Service Commission, for one community, there will be justice in the process. Win or lose, the people in his district will finally have a say. Many of the same Republicans cheered on Representative Gassaway when he filed his lawsuit. But the same ones have grumbled about the time we have taken to gain a remedy for fellow Georgians who faced a dizzying array of bad action, misinformation, and gut-wrenching hardship. But we are a mighty nation because embedded in our national experiment is the chance to fix what is broken, to call out what has faltered, to demand fairness wherever it can be found. Which is why on election night, I declare that our fight to count every vote is not about me. It is about us. It is about the democracy that we share and our responsibility to preserve our way of life. Our democracy. Because voting is not a right for some. It is a right for all, and it is not a privilege. I stand here today as witness to that truth. This election is about all of us, as is the resolution of this moment. I acknowledge that former Secretary of State Brian Kemp will be certified as the victor in the 2018 gubernatorial election. But to watch an elected official who claims to represent the people in this state baldly pin his hopes for election on the suppression of the people's democratic right to vote has been truly appalling. So let's be clear. This is not a speech of concession. Because concession means to acknowledge an action is right, true, or proper. As a woman of conscience and faith, I cannot concede that. But my assessment is the law currently allows no further viable remedy. Now, I could certainly bring a new case to keep this one contest alive, but I don't want to hold public office if I need to scheme my way into the post. Because the title of governor isn't nearly as important as our shared title, voters. And that is why we fight on, and why I want to say thank you. Thank you to those of you who organized your communities and shattered records. More than 1.9 million voters who stood up in this midterm for protecting our public schools, for continuing criminal justice reform, for Medicaid expansion, and for real economic mobility for all of our counties. We won state house races and Senate races, a new seat in Congress, and we put America on notice that change is not coming to Georgia, it has arrived, and you made it so. But those who feared change pushed back. And so we waited for the whole truth of this election, good and evil. We waited for it to come forth. So thank you to those of you who shared your stories, for the tens of thousands of calls into our voter protection line. Thank you for volunteering your hours after the polls closed and for the last 10 days, for driving to all 159 counties and hearing the concerns of Georgia citizens through tears and frustration and disappointment. Because you see, Georgia still has a decision to make about who we will be in the next election, and the one after that, and the one after that. So we have used this election and its aftermath to diagnose what has been broken in our process. Make no mistake, the former Secretary of State was deliberate and intentional in his actions. I know that 8 years of systemic disenfranchisement, disinvestment, and incompetence had its desired effect on the electoral process in Georgia. I also know that we live in a nation where 4 federal judges were necessary to force the counting of the ballots cast in the face of Brian Kemp's opposition to and disregard for their lawful consideration. I know that millions of Georgians, of Americans, of goodwill and various partisan beliefs, they are enraged by these truths. Now, in response, you may seek to vent your anger, or worse, to turn away from politics, because it can be as rotten and rigged as you've always believed. But I implore each of you not to give in to that anger or apathy, but instead turn to action. Because the antidote to injustice is progress. The cure to this malpractice is a fight for fairness in every election held, in every law passed, in every decision made.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like, well, first of all, her speech, just to concede, it was giving me like, this is, you win this battle, but the war is not over. So, maybe next race, there'll be a greater chance of her actually winning and becoming governor of Georgia. With this whole suing business she's about to get into, she might be able to swing it for this term. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But I feel like she's still going to continue the fight as she's always have. So even since she was like around our age in college and things like that, she was out in the community trying to do something and trying to be an activist and trying to get people to wake up and understand. So, there's still plenty of work to be done. And she's not done working, so.
And as I quote, she says she's planning to get back in the ring. So I don't think it's over anytime soon. She'll be back.
She will be back.
She will be back. And she's also starting an organization for voters' rights and against voter suppression. So you guys be on the lookout for that as well. She's going to do a lot of positive things in our community. And she's going to make other leaders step up and be accountable for their actions, just like Brian Kemp.
Yes.
And this is what he had to say about everything.
Good morning, everyone. Let me thank you for being here with us today. Last night, as you all know, my opponent ended her campaign. The election is over, and I'm honored to be Georgia's governor-elect. We are pleased that the process is formally over with now. Hard-working Georgians, including those in this room, are now ready to move forward. It's time to leave the divisive politics of the past behind us and focus on Georgia's bright and promising future. Under the leadership of Governor Deal and Governor Perdue, our state has experienced unmatched growth and prosperity. We've grown jobs, we've invested in public education, tackled infrastructure projects, reformed our criminal justice system, and responded to natural disasters like Hurricane Michael. In the transition process, we will work diligently to build on Governor Perdue and Governor Deal's accomplishments. We will work around the clock to keep Georgia moving in the right direction. I humbly ask for citizens of this great state to stand with me in the days ahead. Together, we will realize the opportunities and tackle the challenges that we have before us. We will be a state that puts hard-working Georgians first, no matter what their zip code or where they live. Thank you, and I look forward to taking your questions.
All right. Well, you see what he had to say, and even if you don't like him, I mean, at this point, we just have to, stand by him and hope that he's gonna make the right decisions for everybody, not
Right.
just, the 1 percentile or himself or big businesses or big pharma. He
Right.
just has to make the decisions right for our state and our people. So let's hope
Let's
you
hope.
guys that
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Hey, maybe even pray if you do that he makes the right decisions for us. All right, moving on along. This is National Diabetes Month.
Yes, National Diabetes Month, and funny, more so ironic that it's in the same month as Thanksgiving. Yes, folks, we are tying this in diabetes and Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So go ahead, buckle up, get ready, because I'm about to tell you that you need to be eating healthier. The best way is to have a well-balanced diet and to exercise regularly. Okay, you don't have to have a membership at a gym to exercise regularly. You can go to your local park. There are trails, walking trails,
Ride a
bike trails. Exactly, ride a bike, walk around.
Work out in your house. There's plenty of apps for it to help you keep on track.
Apps, videos on YouTube,
Right.
videos you can buy from official, whoever. They got whatever little 25-day challenge and all this other stuff. You can do all this from the comfort of your home, or you can venture outside. Either way it goes, there's no excuse. You can still be out here exercising. And then, hey, how are we tying this all into Thanksgiving? Let me tell you why. Thanksgiving is one of the most
Obese times of the year. We really have to be smarter with our selections with all the cookies, the pies.
Not even that. Like, let's try not to overeat, because this is the type of holiday where people choose to overeat. Let's not do that. That's bad for you.
All right, just take some leftovers home.
Yeah, we all know we be eating Thanksgiving leftovers for days anyway.
Right.
But you can still be
For a whole
healthy
week.
with the choices. Make sure there's plenty of salads on the side. Fresh fruit. You can always have fresh fruit to go with your meal.
It's okay to drink some water.
Right, water.
Before and after you have your meal.
Right, you can have some lemon slices available, so you have water with lemon. It's a good detox.
Right.
While you're eating your meal. You can try and cook things so they're a bit healthier, not actually use fattening butter.
Watch your salt intake.
Right, watch the amount of seasoning you put on there, because even though they're different seasoning, folk, they still got a little bit of salt in all of them, so you don't want to
Exactly.
over
You
salt
wanna be
anything.
careful.
And more sides, more veggies, more leafy greens, and let's not add in harsh things that make it not healthy, like some meat.
Right. I mean,
Like
it's just
pork.
plenty of meatless solutions coming out these days at various stores: Walmart, Aldi, Target, Sprouts, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. The list goes on. Even local food marts have them now. So it's no excuse. You could go out and get meatless solutions now.
Or if you have to have meat, that's fine. Bake it. It's better than trying to have a fried turkey. Like I know some people like
Some
to do.
people like to fry their
Just
turkey.
let's do a baked turkey or a baked ham.
Make sure you have the gravy ready though. If you don't have the gravy ready, I don't know, because some of y'all, you guys make some dry turkey, and I
Right.
love you, I really do. But
You need gravy.
if the turkey is dry, I will not comply. Okay, that is my theme for 2018. On the other hand, please get more fiber in your diet.
Yes.
It's okay to do a cleanse every once in a while as well. Things like certain detox teas, not all of them.
Not
Do
all
your
of them.
research, people. Green tea is also a diuretic, so you
Yeah.
can drink some of that as well.
I would say for this holiday
Coffee.
season, be sure to the days leading up to, make sure you're drinking your detox waters, make sure you're eating your salads and your fresh fruit, so that way you're getting all those that good stuff into your body before the very large meal that'll have you passed out on the couch watching the game. Okay, and then afterwards, while you're eating your leftovers, please add in a salad. You know what I'm saying? Add in a nice salad with a light dressing or a vinaigrette and keep the ball rolling. Stay away from the sugar. That sugar leads to diabetes, folks.
All right, we just have some quick facts for you guys. Over 1.25 million American children and adults have type 1 diabetes. And type 1 only represent 5% of people that are diagnosed in America.
And 85.2% of people with type 2 diabetes are overweight or obese, which is pretty much the same thing, just about hand in hand. the prevalence of diagnosed diabetes in the United States has increased by 382% from 1988 to 2014. And that's only 4 years ago. So it's even higher now.
Exactly, which is a shame. So let's do better with our diets, people, and be careful over this holiday season.
Please. Okay, so our next topic is the poor, unfortunate security officer that was slain by police.
All right, take a look at this.
Protests and growing outrage over the death of a security guard who was holding down an alleged gunman. When police arrived, an officer shot and killed the guard. ABC's Ariel Reshef back on the story tonight.
Justice for Jamel! Justice for Jamel!
Growing calls for justice tonight after the shooting death of security guard Jamel Roberson.
He was one of the good guys. Had it not been for Jamel Roberson, there would have been absolute carnage.
The family of the 26-year-old filing a lawsuit against the officer who gunned him down and the village of Midlothian, Illinois.
Shots fired in the parking lot.
Witnesses say Roberson, an armed bouncer at a bar, had pinned down a shooting suspect until officers arrived. That's when one of them opened fire, killing Roberson.
Police officer just saw a black man. I believe it was indeed white. He'll be alive.
Tonight, that officer is on administrative leave. Roberson, a musician at local churches, was a new dad who hoped to one day be a police officer.
And David, while the incident is still under investigation, the police department says they are devastated, calling Roberson a great man who was doing his best to stop an active shooter.
Yes, it's such a shame. I mean, we already have plenty of killings in Chicago going on daily. With they like to call it a war on Chirac, which is a horrible term for it, but that's what a lot of people,
Terrible.
people call it there anyway. Jamel Robertson was only in his early 20s. He had a 9-month-old son, and he wanted to be a cop someday, which is very ironic within the situation. It was sad that around 3 people at the bar were telling the officers, hey, this guy's just doing his job. And
He's not the bad guy.
Right.
It's this other guy. And they
shot
still
him anyway,
shoot him anyway.
which is really tragic. I mean, it's just like you said, a lot of people need to go under constant psych evaluations because things can change. I mean, if you've been in the line of duty for 5 years, mentally you're not going to be the same as when you came in. So
Right. And then on top of that, life happens because these are just regular people as well. The stress of day-to-day life, you know what I'm saying? There could be a cop who came in just fine with a family and everything was all good. Now he's older. He's probably divorced. He's got some type of other mental stress weighing on him. He's got financial stress weighing on him, and the way he sees and views certain situations has changed and evolved from when he first got out of the academy. That's why we need to constantly have our officers checked out physically and mentally and emotionally to make sure that they're okay, so that way there's no room for them to be biased or make a bad call while on duty. And we need to start having people more accountable for when they do something that is completely wrong, like murdering an innocent person. Okay, we don't need to have the blue shield of silence and brotherhood go up. Okay, we need to hold them accountable because just like their life is forever changed, the life of the family of whoever that they wrongfully imprisoned or killed is forever changed. Okay, so we just heard that Kim Porter has passed away and is no longer with us. She was the mother of Diddy's 3 children. She was a model. I believe she was an author and an entrepreneur. And she was unfortunately taken away from us too soon at the age of 47 due to cardiac arrest. They do say that she had pneumonia beforehand.
Yeah, several weeks earlier.
Yeah, so that probably attributed to it. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Porter family.
Yes.
Through this hard time, as well as, Stan Lee died, bruh.
Stan Lee has died as well at 95 years
For
old.
all y'all who don't know who that is, he was the funny old dude that's in every Marvel movie.
He is the creator, the father, the founder.
I'm just helping the young people put a face
I know.
to the name. Because, you know, these kids don't know
They
these
don't
people.
know, but if they don't know now, they know, okay?
There we go.
Because he is the founder of Marvel. He's the reason Spider-Man swings through the webs in New York City. He's the reason why vibranium was stolen from Wakanda. And he's the reason why Iron Man could come up with all these cool inventions and fly through New York City with no problems, okay? Remember that. Stan Lee is the GOAT, the legend, the
And
myth,
he will be
the
missed.
man, and he will be missed. All right. To our last topic of the day, we have a young man in Africa that has created a cool invention. Watch this. I think it's genius that this young man has created a cell phone in a rural part of Africa that you could be used without any airtime. Now, with that being said, I'm scared to see who offers him the first grant loan job offer, because I feel like they're gonna steal that idea and we're never gonna hear about it again. Or
They're gonna lock him away
profit
somewhere where he's not being as nurtured in his creative endeavors, or, you know, they're not letting his inventions, his future inventions, be known to the world.
Right.
Let's just go ahead
Let's let
and
this man
let's
flourish.
admire that. Okay, let's nurture that in our young people. They're so smart and so intelligent and gifted these days. We have to nurture that, because what these kids come up with today will change tomorrow forever. So let's nurture that.
All right, and thank you for listening. Make sure you like, you comment, subscribe.
Right. Please comment down below. Let us know what you think, what topics you think we should cover, or any good criticism, constructive, none of that negative, because you and your feelings. Okay, none of that. Constructive.
All right, thank you for listening.
We signing out this Luna Star.